out of body projection or soul travel. And we can go to these other places, these universes. Children, we get programmed from early on, do this, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And
this is what is needed at this time. It's an epidemic.
Hello, everyone. I have a special treat for you today. These two have a powerful word that they want to share with you, and I'm going to bring that up a little bit later, halfway through the podcast. I want to introduce to you Dr. Nick and Professor Mike Sebastian. They are the founder of the special word, or at least sharing this special word, which we will talk to you about soon. They are the Dream Team, and they're also the owner of the Divine Guidance Institute and Wellness Center that they want to bring up as well. And several books, as you can see in the background. Welcome, Dr. Nick and Professor Mike.
Oh, hey, Holly. Good morning.
Hey, Holly. Thanks.
Thanks for having us. Good to be here.
Yeah, no problem. I love it. Okay, so before we share the special word that is very powerful, can you give us a background to who you guys are, how you founded this institute, and wanting to share the word?
Oh, absolutely. This is exciting. Michael and I have been married 30 years now, but we first met in a dream 3 years before meeting in the physical.
That's why we're called the Dream Team. We met.
Okay. What was a dream?
Team, but we actually met in a dream. So, and I actually had I was teaching college in Texas, Austin, Texas, and sociology. And I had a very one of those clear dreams. And in the dream, the girl was actually named Nicole, looked like Nicole, and wore a purple dress. It was a very specific dream. We were in a chemistry class together, which would indicate there's going to be chemistry. That's part of dream interpretation. But I wrote the dream down. I journaled it afterwards. And then flash forward at least 3 years. And I never remembered the dream after that, 3 years down the way. Luckily, I journaled it. But who walked into my class? The dream girl. It was Nicole wearing a purple dress.
I saved you. I saved him. He was dating 4 girls at that time. He had just been blindsided in a divorce. Yep. Right. And was trying to find the one. And yes.
But I was not a player. Okay. I dated 4 girls at the same time, but not a player. No, I was.
Okay. That's a whole nother book.
It is. It really is. So the first day of class, the students were waiting. We're sitting, waiting for the teacher. And he walks in. And when he walked in, Holly, that moment, my inner voice started screaming. He's the one, soulmate. You're going to marry him and all of this. And, I was 24 at the time. Michael's twice my age. Yep. Okay. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I was deeply attracted to him. He had on his little jeans and his hiking boots and his flannel, and he was bouncing a ball up in the air. And I remember just like, I was totally like, wow, just taken. And I waited till the semester ended. Then I saw him next semester in the hallway, and I ran as quick as I could. And I said, hey, you want to do lunch? And so we did lunch the next day, dinner the day after that. And then we were engaged in 90 days and married in 9 months. So that's the short version. Yes. But the cool thing, I had the gut feeling, right? He had the dream. And then throughout the courtship, we had signs like the dinner date. Michael walked me back to my car, and the license plate, the letters on my car, KRW, which are the initials of his first wife. Mm-hmm. He didn't tell me this at the time, but he was reading the signs to be, serious relationship.
Yeah, and it caught my attention. It jumped out, KRW, I thought, because I hadn't seen another license plate in Texas with those initials on it at all. And I thought, oh my God, that's the initials of my other wife. And I thought, whoa, what does this mean? Is this good news or bad news? And the gut feeling came in.
That's what I would be wondering.
Yeah. Is it trouble or is it salvation? And I'm thinking, the gut feeling was your life's going to take a turn and it's going to be a long-term relationship, and you and this girl will go down another road completely. And I thought, oh my God, what a sign. Anyway,
what a sign.
What a sign.
And you know, Holly, with these compelling stories, these compelling events that we've had, you know, that's how we built Divine Guidance Institute, based on dreams, signs, and intuition, using these tools to navigate down here, because it can get messy down here. So you need those other tools.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your take that we live in a multidimensional universe in which we can use to manifest?
Well,
it's really like we're really going into the people who have the best understanding of that are either the spiritual side of our community or the scientists on the quantum physics, and they're starting to bridge together.
Thank God.
Quantum's talking about the multiverse now. It's like, oh my God, we have some insight and a little bit of proof at the quantum level showing there is a multiverse. And at the same time, when if we go into the spirituality of it, we'll realize that there's an infinity of universes, literally, and where are they? Within us. Whenever we can go anywhere and we can test it and try it, and you'll get that feeling, and it's called, out of body projection or soul travel, and we can go to these other places, these universes, and they're there. And it's interesting because the scientific community is now expanding into that acceptance of the multiverse. And it's always been here for us. There's just never been any literally proof by scientific standards of the
coming
mind.
Out. Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about this powerful word, which I think would be multidimensional. Any dimension that we're in, we can practice this one word and the power of it. So what is the history of it? What is the word, and why do people want to know it?
Okay. The word, let's just start there. The word is hue, H-U, hue. And the technique goes like this. Hue. You can inhale, and on the exhale, hue. The cool thing, Holly, you can do it eyes open or closed, out loud or silent. So it is so user-friendly, regardless of the individual and their comfort level, their situation. You can do it in the shower, while you're doing the dishes, while you're in a business meeting. And it works for so many things. We call it the Holy Grail and the universal panacea, whether it's stress and anxiety, insomnia, suicidal ideation, or just connecting with your higher self and spirit. This one word happens to bridge all of those things. And historically, this is so cool. And, you're totally into Egypt. The word goes way back thousands of years to Egypt. They used to hew as a society from dusk until dawn at the Sphinx to elevate the consciousness.
Yeah.
And
that's really where they first practiced the hue. When you go back, that we can track back thousands of years to ancient Egypt, and even before Egypt, hue was a word that they used for not only raising their level of awareness, but they actually used the power of hue as a sound, because sound can be used to power things. And there's now a lot of scientific research into the area of how to use sound with crystals to really power some of our civilization. And not only that, but even using starships going off planet. We can't be using the type of fuel that we're currently using. And they're thinking, well, what can we do with sound? Because it's very powerful. And we've got, if you really do your homework, it's pretty interesting. Hue goes way, way back, and it's not a normal word, hue, or sound. It's like people go, well, is it like the Om? No, it is not like the Om. The Om will take you to a certain point, but we have literally thousands of testimonials from people who were suicidal. Somehow they found us and called us. And
no, Holly, one just came in 2 days ago.
Yeah.
A person we don't know. And I was talking to one of our clients, and he said, it was in real time. He said, my friend, his friend, just texted him, bro, I want to kill myself. I'm suicidal. I just don't know. And I was on Ambien and I haven't slept in days. And so my client's, sharing this with me. He's like, what do you, I said, share the hue. So I sent my client 2 of our YouTube TV clip segments to send to his friend. and I said, we can only hope he'll try the hue, right? Holly, 1 day later, the next morning, this is just a few days ago, the next morning, we get a message. My client's calling me crying. This is a grown man, but he's so excited. He's crying because of the message his friend sent him. He said, oh my God, it works. I finally slept that night. I am not suicidal. I just can't believe it. I need to tell these people. I bought their book. And then he emailed us. It's just one day of the hue.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. You just reminded me that I need to share it with somebody that's going through a very difficult time right now. And everyone, you do that too. Anyone who's sharing now, having a difficult time, share this. Now, what is your first book? And talk a little bit about that, or any of your books, because you got 3 or 4 there, right?
Oh, yes, we do. Trust yourself right here. This is our main message for everyone. Trust yourself. And so what is yourself? Well, it's the higher self, the wiser part of you. Some people, they're familiar with the universe, God, Holy Spirit, higher self, depending on one's belief system. But that is the bottom line. When you start trusting yourself at a higher level, Holly, using that hue to turn the system on, to turn up the volume with discernment, then you start tapping in, and the awareness kicks in, and the dreams and the signs and the intuition, everything just starts just peaking at such high levels that it's as if someone was sleepwalking through life, literally. Those people that say same shit, different day. You've heard of that, right? And it's like, if anyone says that, it speaks volume about themselves, of not using next level tools to have excitement down here while we're here, so
they're asleep. And, most of the population, and I'll say, are really asleep. They're sleepwalking, and it's habit, tradition, routine, same old thing, doing the same. We go to the same places, do the same thing every day. And we're not aware of the power that we have within: dreams, signs, intuition. We don't see the signs because I'm not awake. I'm not looking for them. And I don't remember my dreams. That's what we get all the time from our people. And, my intuition, well, what's that? Is that a thought? Is that my mind? Or was it my imagination? They're not even sure what that is. And, they're very different things. And that's a good starting point, because people go, well, how can I access any of that? That's where the hue comes in. And it's the key that turns on the system. And when we hue in 1 minute, it's like, oh my God, I had a flash. I had a gut feeling. I had a sign. Suddenly I saw the signs, and it turns on the system and allows us to look within. And, that's the enemy. There's an enemy here. And the enemy is this. It's the noise. It's society. It's looking outwards. It's our phones, our TVs, our laptops. They're constantly, we can't hear anything. We're asleep, and it keeps us frozen in the moment. The Native Americans used to say that, the noise, the outer noise, it keeps us frozen, and we're not aware of things. So that's what the hue does. It wakes us up and to the dreams, signs, and intuition. And really, it goes back to, it's really interesting. I can't remember the philosopher who first said that. They said, with every question, there's an answer. As soon as you pose the question, there's an answer within there. And that's true. It always is. And it's within
the answer's
us.
always there.
Yeah,
the answer's already there. You just have to ask the question.
Exactly. And we need to access that answer with our system, trust yourself.
So why does the word hue work? What is the the meaning behind that?
So glad you asked. Yes, and it even goes back to what you mentioned on the different planes, the different dimensions. You know, we've done all the research over 30 years with EEG data and oximeter data and aura, Kirlian photography data, as well as you know, the 30 years of experiences with field research. And the hue, you know, there's a lot of words, the ohm and other words, and they're good, they're useful, beneficial, but the hue happens to go quicker, further, faster. Vroom! It takes you all the way up beyond the planes of duality to the 12th plane, 10th plane, and then you have access to everything. Whereas like the ohm goes to the 4th plane, 4th dimension, which is the mental plane. And again, a person will reap much benefit, but to test the two, you know, one goes higher and the planes beyond duality. Whereas down here, we're still stuck in the duality, you know, the light, dark, hot, cold, black, white, you know, confusion down here. You have to get above all of that. And with coherence now, Holly, the hue really takes the coherence of both hemispheres to another level. It's just, and it's effortless. You know, all the things, they have apparatuses outside of us. You know, you listen to this tune, put on these headphones, sit in this chair, you know, use this mat, and they're all good. But the hue, it's from the inside out, Holly. You know, you don't need any apparatus. It just changes you from the inside out at you know, a subatomic level. You got your central nervous system, cells and atoms, and it literally goes in at that level and starts rearranging and harmonizing our atoms. So really, that's what's happening. Yeah.
Frequency is powerful. People don't realize that in the future of healing us physically, mentally, and spiritually will be through frequencies. And I see that coming out in the spring, all the way up until throughout the entire summer and early fall of 2026. And there's going to be actual proof that people won't be able to deny on multitude of levels. So it kind of hits, you know, all the different types of people, because there are people that are academic and that's how they want to understand life. And then there are people who are spiritual and that's how they want to understand life. And then there are like religious spiritual. And then there are people that are more philosophical. And I believe it's going to come through those 3 different venues of understanding, not just how frequency can heal us, but a whole bunch of other multitude of events that will happen that will have us understand each other on a deeper level. Can you introduce to us your latest book?
Oh, yes. Here we go. Okay, let's back up for a minute. Michael mentioned society and things of, you know, getting locked in. Sociology of Soul is the one to break habit, tradition, and routine. This one is a real gem. We've got the Just Say Hue book. Woo, one-step therapy.
Is that the one that gentleman was reading?
Yes. This is the one he just bought.
Suicide ideology. Yeah.
Yes, it's just amazing. One-step therapy. It's like, so what is it? It's Just Say Hue. Hue. It's like whatever it is. It's like, would you just say Hue? And it's just that simple. You know, no meds, no therapist. You know, no priest. I mean, you've got it all right here. Now, those things aren't necessarily awful, but, you know, at some point when we were created, if you were going to create the perfect being, you would have it so we didn't need anything outside of ourselves, you know? And that's how it was way back when. And then, you know, we've gotten away from all of those things, as you know. And, but now's the time because it's so chaotic and so negative. We need quicker tools. We need the good stuff. So I think that's why it's all coming back. You know?
And we already got them. You know, I thought of a quote when you were talking about frequency, and Nikola Tesla, over 100 years ago, who was brilliant, he said, if you want to discover the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's a pure quote from Tesla. And it's like he discovered it way back then. He knew. And that's why he was
Yeah.
so brilliant in his work.
And
It
they
was
kept
like,
it from us. Like
yep,
they
yeah,
scrubbed it so that we don't have access to that.
exactly.
But that's gonna come out as well. There are people that are around the world, hundreds of people that are reaccessing his energy. So Dr. Nick, you're a therapist, right?
It's like a clinical psychologist. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you've got your psychology. And Professor Mike is in philosophy
Sociology.
and sociology.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
I
great.
really take what Nick does in terms of analyzing an individual and go, how does that fit into a social community? That's all. So we go well together for that reason.
So you mentioned that that is a good match, actually. I'm reminded by the quote with, although it's not similar to what your degrees are, but with Plato, where all philosophers should be politicians and all politicians should be philosophers.
There
And
you go.
most people would think those are the exact opposite of each other. They shouldn't mingle at all. Speaking of which, we are in very chaotic times. It seems to be highlighted every few years to remind us of that we're in the law of oppositions. And the law of opposition, all the laws, all the hermetic laws need to be balanced. We need to have a little bit of all of them, but we're way, into the law of opposition right now. And we have been for about 5 years, where I find that we're giving our power away. And I like how you guys mention, how like look within yourself, know thyself. And I believe that some of these powers are, whether it's religion or spiritual or political or whatever your belief system is supposed to assist us. We're supposed to walk with it. It's not supposed to be our savior. We are our own saviors. So what is your take on everything that's been happening for the last several years, specifically what's happening right now? And how are we giving our power away? And what can we do to not give our power away? Beside the word
That's
you.
that that's a great question, and it's I think everybody's kind of struggling with it, whether they realize it or not on a daily basis. And it's the way society is set up it's a form of control. Everything's a form of control if you look at it. I don't care what we do. It's all about, the government control, the state control, the county control, the local control, schools controlling children. We get programmed from early on, do this, don't do that. And it's really a form of control and we look up, that's where it comes from. We give our power away to the politicians, to the white coats, to the doctors, even with all the misdiagnosis. When we know within ourselves, that doesn't feel right, that diagnosis. And it's like, I can't tell you how many of our clients we have to work with undiagnosing, like, have you checked that out? Are you for sure? And in most cases, they come back, it's wrong diagnosis, misdiagnosed. And we gave our power away. And that's because we don't think that we really have the power. We look to others, and we're programmed to look to others. That's like sociology of soul. The problem is we're looking outward for the solution, to the politicians, to the government, to the doctors, to the priests. I mean, do we need a priest to talk to God? That's what the Catholic Church teaches. Well, so many years ago, because I grew up Catholic, and I said, there's something wrong with this. Why can't I directly communicate with the force? Why do I have to go through some person who, when I really look at them, they don't have the truth. I already had the truth within. So when I look in the mirror, which is what we share with people now, when you look in the mirror, you are the way, the path, and the truth. And you want to test it. That's why we give them the key, Hugh, which was the original sound that created the universe. That's why it's so powerful. In the beginning was, I'll quote the Bible, and I am not a Bible guy, but it hit the truth. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. That's John 1:1.
Yeah.
John hit on it like, whoa, the Hugh went out and created everything that we know. It was a sound, and science already knows that at the quantum level. The vibrations was created by light and sound. That's all there is. That's why when we go into alignment with it and we reflect the power. We're the power of it. We can really heal ourselves. We can do anything we want to do. We're very, very powerful. But when we say, I can't, I don't, I won't, because I don't believe in my self-worth, then we give it away. Of course, we're powerless, sitting on the side of the road. We just need to step back into our own power, look in the mirror, and know the truth.
Absolutely. As you were talking there in talking about the word and, how the Bible says the word, I started thinking, well, the Bible wasn't written in English, it was written
No.
in Hebrew. So the meaning behind the word, a word is just a language for the symbol and the feeling and the meaning behind
Yes.
it. And although words are very powerful, it's the meaning, the origin. And that's where I think even in the English language, we mix up the origin of a lot of words. When somebody says something, like look up the
Mhm.
origin of it and see what it really meant, because that's the power that you're emitting when you use that word.
Holly, you just reminded me of the basic thing that we share. Hue comes from the word human. Oh gosh, forgot to mention that one.
Yeah,
Hue
go
comes
into that
from
one.
the word human actually means God man, God within man, because we all have that power within, that spark of creation right here within. So it goes back to what you both were saying, how the power is here, it's not out there. Hence the word human, and hence the power of that word hue. In the Oxford English Dictionary, the hue, and that's also Sanskrit, I wanted to mention, since you mentioned different languages and whatnot. And in our research with hue, we found it in 14 different religions and spiritual paths in their sacred text. Yes, from the Kabbalah to the Quran, even the Masons, their secret word is hue, that you don't get to you're a 33rd initiate. It's like, talk about keeping the secret
Yeah.
till the end.
even the Sufis, the Druids. We were doing a TV show in New York. What was the name of it? In Your Dreams. And we took a break, and the camera crew, one of the camera crew came in, and he said, "Wow, you guys were doing the hue and sharing it with your clients here on camera." And he said, "I haven't heard that word in so long." I said, "You've heard of hue?" I said, "Where did you hear that?" He said, "I'm a druid." That was his religious background. I said, "A druid? I've never met a druid.
Never.
What is a druid?" I started laughing. He laughed. We all laughed. But they share the hue also, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Goes way back, way back. But
I'm glad that we're talking just a little bit about religion in light of everything. And I had predicted a while ago that there was going to start to become a huge divide around religion. Mine is right, yours is right, mine is wrong, yours is wrong, my way is better than that way. And I mean, this has been an ongoing problem in history since Caesar days and maybe even beyond that, right? But the base of religion, in my opinion, or the text, is to understand the strength and the power that we have within ourselves. And I remember when I was younger, and I had a lot of little aches and pains and issues when I was younger. And I remember in my early 20s looking at being so frustrated because I'd look at my body and go, this is my body. Why don't I know what's going on with it? And why can't I make it go away? Like it's mine. Why do I have to go somewhere else to find this out? And I wasn't very, woo-woo or spiritual or religious or checking out scientific reasons behind that. I really didn't understand that part, but I did understand that was something was off with that. How could we be born and not know what's going on inside of us?
Oh, I love it. See, you were tapped in way back then. You knew it felt off, and it does. It sounds so silly, doesn't it? Here we are, and we've got to go over here. And yeah, you knew it was wrong. You knew it was off. It just didn't feel right. We were doing a dream workshop, and we had one of the participants. She had poor, failing health, and your story reminds me of this client. She had failing health, long time, years, no test, no doctor could figure this out, but she had a recurring dream, right? The letters PB, like peanut butter. Da, 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 da. So she shares the dream in the seminar, and Michael says, "Well, that's the element symbol for lead." So her dream was letting her know she had lead toxicity this whole time. That was the source. So then she backtracked. She went back to the doc. She said, hey, I think it's a lead issue, lead toxicity. And sure enough, it was. And then that she could take corrective action. But it was through herself, through her dream, through divine guidance to get the answer.
That's
and
incredible.
then I know, right? It's just like so amazing. And it was tapping on her, this recurring dream for a couple years, but she didn't know, and nobody knows. And that's really why we're here. We're just launching Divine Guidance Institute officially October 22nd, which is the spiritual new year. And it's because of the epidemic, because it's a crisis, because these tools, they occur 24/7. Dreams while we're sleeping, intuition and signs while we're awake, and we're not using the tools. That's the crux of the institute, and the crux of the epidemic, and give the power back to the people.
Give it. And we'll always get that pushback, as you were mentioning earlier. It kind of triggered something within me. You were saying the problems, the chaos, and the control. The law of opposites. There's a spiritual law. It's called the law of opposites, but you can look at it scientifically just as well. For day, there's night. For up, there's down. For black, there's white. There's always the opposite. Mechanically, that's the way the universe works. And, you ask the question, if we have all the power, if we can heal ourselves, if we can know the truth, what the hell do we need with the government and the politicians and the doctors and the priests? We don't need them. And so we will always get that pushback for control, and, things will be hidden from us, how we give our power away. So, our mission, literally, and it's a mission, and it's like, that's all we work on, is to bring the knowingness, the truth. You can call it the truth, but it's really a form of knowingness about our own power. We bring it into the light and share it with the people so that they can really take care of themselves and go into all that they can be, without looking outwards and being oppressed every day.
Holly, that's even our slogan, the ancient way of knowing, so you never get blindsided again. That's our trademark, our slogan. Yeah. So,
what has happened, though, is we've gone through such a division in the last, specifically highlighted in the last 5 or 6 years. But I see that this has been unfolding since the industrial age, even since the 50s and the 60s, when they, I could go on and on about that. So this division, because in strength, like in numbers, we have strength in numbers. And if I was to have a problem and I had a huge community, a huge tribe or village around me, my village, my tribe, my family, my friends would be able to help me deconstruct what my problem may be. Me sitting alone at home searching Google is probably not going to help me find it. But when we have the strength in numbers, specifically everybody having their own strengths, like their own intuition, their own abilities, their own knowledge of what plant and nature can do, or nutrition and whatnot. But instead, we'll eat, junk every day and sit there and go to our doctor and ask, give me a pill for all of these physical ailments that I have. And they don't even ask you, well, what have you been eating? What's your trauma? What stress have you been under lately? They don't ask you that.
No,
just keep eating your candy bars and your bonbons, and here's a pill for diabetes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You nailed that one, Holly. Woo.
It makes me crazy. So we already have it in us. Our body is telling us you're doing something wrong, and I'm going to give you some aches and pains and negative thoughts to let you know that something's wrong. That's what we should be listening to, is our physical body. However, what are your antidotes to help people? What is like the one thing, besides reading some of your books, that can really help them not be so dependent, codependent?
Well, the number one tool, as you know, is the hue. So I would share with anyone, as we do, and your audience, start hewing today. Never more than 20 minutes. It's never needed. You could do 4 or 5 minute increments. You could do it, while you're driving in the car, and like I mentioned, in the shower, even just a couple minutes to ignite the system. So, a routine is best, obviously. You brush your teeth in the morning and the night, this type of thing. But anytime, we call it hewing in a pinch. And that means anytime you need it. You got a stressful moment, you know, your boss is giving you a hard time, you know, your spouse is driving you crazy, you know, you can hew in a pinch. Then you can also set up a regular structure of your practice of hew, whether it's 5 minutes a day up to 20, and get that rolling immediately. Just like that one guy had these tremendous results overnight, and that's what happens for everyone. It's really just amazing. And here's the thing with the hew, it's like a stopgap. It goes in, and whatever, because we're all unique, whatever someone's issues are, the hew goes in and handles that person's issues specifically. Like so-and-so wants to quit smoking, and this one's having nightmares, and this one's having anxiety. Like, you don't need to program the hew. The hew just goes in and repairs whatever is needed on all the different planes automatically.
And the reason for that, mechanically and scientifically, at a quantum level, everything is a vibration. That's pure science. That's been proven. That's, you know, like quantum entanglement. It's been proven. Everything's a vibration. And when we hew, literally, I shift that vibration. And when I shift the vibration, I shift my reality. That's why it works so quickly, so fast. You don't need a year of therapy. You don't need a month or a week. It's instant, because maybe my reality's anxiety. Okay, maybe it's depression. And when I hew, I've shifted that on a scale of 1 to 10 from a 2 to an 8. And it's like, whoa, I feel harmonious. I feel better. That's why it's so important. When I came back from, quick story, when I came back from Vietnam, I'd been in the infantry. So I was out in the field for a while. And I had a lot of PTSD, severe, every day. I mean, depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation every day. And I didn't know what to do for it. And the VA didn't really have a handle on it yet either. So I was headed to the VA, but I stumbled across the hew. I found the hew. And so I thought, well, this isn't going to help my PTSD and my suicidal ideation, but I gave it a try. And it worked so quick, so fast, that I didn't go to the VA, didn't see no docs, no pills, no meds, no therapists. I just did the hew, and all the severe symptoms of PTSD literally went away. They just disappeared. It went, whoo, took it way down, and then it just, whoo, erased them. And that was through the use of the hew, using sound to address some severe symptoms that normally would only be addressed by therapy and meds and docs. So
if you're lucky.
If
you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to dismiss people that actually do need, you know,
No, and that's
medical
what I'm saying.
attention, either psychologically or physically, but the hew can assist you, the hew, during that time, and speed up recovery possibly, and speed up the healing in your body as well. There are many powerful words, like you had said, Om, but they work in different ways, and hew sounds like and I have used it since I was introduced to you guys, and it is very powerful. It kind of feels like a hum at the same time. You know, it's that vibration. And, you know, if you guys, you know, if you just take a look at this glass, for instance, it's like this glass is made of tons of atoms and molecules, and they're all vibrating. Like you don't see the glass vibrating, but it is. So yeah, the world is made up of vibration.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Holly. We actually have an entire section in our book devoted to, you know, if no matter what your certain protocol is, add the hew. Add the hew. You don't replace. No, because we're unique, and some people need certain things, and we honor that. Absolutely. Yeah. If you add the hew, you may find in time you can do away with a certain protocol, but regardless, by adding the hew, it's going to enhance anything you're doing, next level stuff, certainly. And the other thing, Holly, the hew will, you know, turn up the volume on intuition. So let's say your solution is with Dr. Joe down the street. You will be led. Give Dr. Joe a call. So it's an all-in-one package. If you're led somewhere, you know, you'll be led, or it'll enhance your current. So no matter what, it's got you covered. Yeah.
And we do see signs.
Yes.
Yes.
What we recommend to our clients is, and it's two things. In addition to the hue at the front end, and I found this to be true in the military, out in the field getting shot at and stuff. And the SEALs use it. They use it every day, and they're always in combat somewhere, secret mission or whatever. And whenever we're anxious, depressed, suicidal, if you breathe 3 or 4 deep breaths, you will feel it immediately. Breathing shuts the mind down. It's left brain, right brain. This is scientific. Breathing always shuts the mind. Well, it stopped chattering at me. Oh my God, I had such fear and anxiety. It's like gone. Breathing shuts the mind down, and hewing, then you hew for a minute. It also controls the feeling coming in. So we feel harmonious and not disharmonious. It's left brain, right brain. Breathe and hew. And it works, instantly. Like Nick says, in a pinch, you could be sitting in the car totally angry. And if you take a few breaths, it just shuts that down.
Yeah. So that's what we'd share with your audience. Get started with the deep breathing, the theta breathing, the 4-4-8. There's lots of combos of the numbers, inhale on the 4 and hold for the 4 and exhale for the 8. Here's a tip. It's a well-kept secret. The beauty of breathing, where does the magic happen? It happens with a low, long, slow exhale, Holly. Mm-hmm. That's where the magic happens. It's on that long, slow exhale. So, do that. I like to exhale with the hue, whether it's out loud or silent, like I said, but I usually do and hue on the exhale. So you got your double Scooby-Doo going. When I used to hit the tanning bed, I would hue while I was tanning. It was a 20-minute tanning session. It was perfect. And the hue hums with the bed. And so you can get real creative.
I bet. Let's talk about your new website coming out. What can people expect for that? You said October 22nd, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. The Institute, we're officially launching the grand launch on October 22nd. Brand new website to go with the Institute, obviously, because this is a school. This isn't just, this is a school. This is the Institute for Knowingness. This is the Institute for Divine Guidance, literally bringing you closer to whether it's the voice of God or Holy Spirit or your higher self in the universe. It's having that, because it's on autopilot anyway. You might as well learn how to really master those tools, techniques, and learn that language. And so, we're starting with, you want to do it yourself. Okay. The books are fabulous. You want to do next level coaching, that's something we could talk about. But the school, it's a 2-year program. But the beauty of this is on day 1, like the gentleman we just mentioned, day 1, the students are going to have results. Day 1, they're going to remember a dream. Day 1, they're going to feel better. Day 1, things are going to start, the awakening will occur right from the start. And then, we're going to be with them guiding along the way. We're going to do, at least 2 in-person, well, not in person rather, but virtual, but live in real time sessions with the students to keep them going on the way. And there's 8 courses we built as an octagon. Oh, I could just go on and on. It's just, this is what is needed at this time. It's an epidemic of huge proportions. Here's a couple quick stats. The online dating, right? Everyone's doing, the dating. 81% of all online dating profiles are false. And I don't mean entirely false, made up from a fake person. I mean within there, the embedded data that they're representing is not true. Okay, so how do you know, right? How do you know? Then we could go to the 800,000 last year alone misdiagnosis leading to serious injury or death. Then we could go on to the 2 million people on the waiting list for mental health treatment. So these stats it's an epidemic, Holly, but the Institute, that's why it's a nonprofit. Oh, we didn't even mention it's a nonprofit. Yes. It's time, it's needed. And
What's the URL you can give them? You got it?
Oh, yeah. How do you find us? That's a good one.
I'm going to
Divine
put
guidance.
everything down in the descriptions, guys. So everyone listening to this, mark this on, copy and paste it, mark it on your calendar for October 22nd, so you don't forget and you head over there.
Yeah, right on, Holly. So yeah, so it's just it's a much needed thing right now more than ever. You know, let's just talk for 2 seconds. That dude that just the shooting that just happened.
But do share the URL though before you talk next.
Yeah.
Just in case somebody's listening to this and not wanting to read anything.
DivineGuidanceInstitute.org. DivineGuidanceInstitute.org. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So in light of the shooting.
Yeah, you know, the school shootings and the other shooting that just occurred, you know.
And stabbing.
If the shooters were hewing, and I'm not kidding, I say this with total confidence and knowing this, if the shooters were hewing, these incidents would not be occurring. That's the power of that word. And, you know, so we need to get it out there. That's the deal. That's the deal. It's the shortcut, and 30 years of research. I've seen it, you know. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big deal, and it's a crisis, and it's the Kali Yuga. You of all people know this time it's getting, you know, darker and darker. You've got your four ages, you know, your golden and your silver and your bronze and your iron, and this is the Kali Yuga Iron Age. And I mean, we've got a long time to go. We're not going anywhere for a minute. You know, people think, is the world ending tomorrow? No. But
I joke sometimes. I go, we would be just so lucky when we let's just end it all now and start again.
Girl,
we're not going to get off that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir.
We always have the inner joke. If somebody's holding a gun to my head, go ahead and pull that trigger. You're doing me a gift. I'm out of here. You're going to be in the slammer somewhere with, you know, so, okay.
Yeah. So
exactly. I'm not the one who's going to continue suffering. You will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
in light, I also see that this is a tipping point that we have to, I mean, it doesn't condone any violence at all, 100%, not at all. Karma is going to, you know, come back on that one, but it is a tipping point because we're a global village now, and we're seeing things we wouldn't have seen 100 years ago. Killings happened all the time. Murders, senseless murders, torture, all this stuff has been happening from the dawn of age, but we weren't witnessing it all over the world. So this is overwhelming. Our brain actually cannot physically handle all of this negative information. It doesn't know what to do with it. So it's starting to conjure up, you know, philosophies and ways of thinking. It's trying to piece it together and make sense of it. And you won't be able to because it's just overwhelming. It's like you can handle this much sugar, but if you dump, you know, this much sugar in your body right now, your body's going to start freaking out. If you do it every day, you're not going to live very long, right? Or you're going to start going, you know, crazy or living with some. So, you know, doing a media fast, I think is really, but if you're on social media, you're going to see it somewhere. But I think if you can counteract it with these techniques that you guys have in your books, and it sounds like your institution is going to be a wonderful way of helping people to manage that. And we've got to do this as a collective. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we had a place of gathering where we just all would go and just say "Hugh" for an hour, and then connect after about how did you feel after you? How did you feel before you had a "Hugh"? How did you feel after you had a "Hugh"? But hopefully we'll get to that point. Let's mention your websites before we close, because you've got a few websites. You've got one about the word where they can take a quiz.
Yeah. Oh, cool. We have a spiritual IQ quiz, which is really insightful. It really lets you know, like, how open are you to unfoldment and new things. It's at spiritualiqquiz.com or what'syourspiritualiq.com. They both go to the same place. And we have a signature course now available on the Hue called One Magic Word. Well, it is one magic word, vibrational sound therapy. That's the registered trademark. But anyway, the website is onemagicword.com if they want to check that out, more information. And we even put up a special price for your audience, you know, on that on the course if they want it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we'll put that down in the description too.
Cool.
Okay.
And then the main website, like we mentioned. So yeah, the quiz, the signature course, and the institute, which is coming soon. Woo, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm excited. Do you have any last words for my audience?
Just
Wisdom.
say Hugh. What you got?
And the dream team says, "Hey, dream on." All right.
Dream on. Okay, I'm not going to sing. I won't torture my audience with my voice. Thank you, Dr. Nick and Professor Mike. Thank you so much for showing up. Hopefully, we can have you back again. Everybody needs these words of wisdom and a reminder. Yeah, guys, listen to this again because there's a lot of tips in here and reminders. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you. Thanks for
All
having us,
righty.
Holly. Enjoyed it.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. All right, it's a wrap.
All right.
It's a wrap, as they say.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
You can that's your main
That was
message
awesome. What was the
yourself.
you said you had a special for my listeners. I want to make sure I mark that down.
Oh yeah, onemagicword.com. That is the page and more information. The signature course is One Magic Word, Vibrational Sound Therapy. And yeah, it's $97 instead of a couple thousand. So yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks again. I think this was we got a little bit more information in there, made little shorter bits of information. So that was great.
Yeah. So if you want to do dreams, a show on dreams or a show on signs, just let us know and we'll.
Oh yeah,
we'll
I'd like to do a show on dreams. I'll send you an email and both actually. And I'll send you
yeah.
But it would be
Next
good for people to understand their dreams and understand the signs, to see the signs in real life.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun. Signs are fun. I mean, so you really get into it. And like you said, it's a wrap. The next time we get together, I'll wrap something for you, like the Hue. I got a Hue wrap and a Trust Yourself wrap. Literally.
There's a rap song at the end of each of our books.
I'm a rapper.
Oh, no way. Okay, we gotta cue that up for the next time.
Cool. All right, Holly.
So I'll send you an email and we'll set up the next one.
All right.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks,
All right.
Holly.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
guys. Take
care.
Thanks a lot.